Hello, and welcome to day 5 of my Chico Labyrinth series. The daily practice and prayer of showing up and walking a map as offered to us by this labyrinth that has the 6-petal rose in its center. I'm using Kathleen McGowan's book, The Source of Miracles, 7 Steps to Transforming Your Life Through the Lord's Prayer, as my guide, as my guidebook, if you will. And each of the days we are walking into the center of the labyrinth and into one of the 6 petals. And we have already walked, showing you the map here, faith. From faith we have walked to surrender, into service, and into the 4th petal of abundance. And today we're walking into the 5th petal of forgiveness. And what I've become aware of in my walking this labyrinth now, at least 5 times, is that in walking with the intention of connecting in with one of the petals, one of the qualities of being that each petal offers us as revealed through the Lord's Prayer, is that each petal is like a building block, a foundation on which to then move into the next. So in deepening my connection with faith, with my faith, I can then step into surrender and allow for a deeper letting go and surrender in knowing and trusting in my faith that holds and supports me and has my back. And then with surrender, this surrender opens me up into a greater allowance of service. Who am I here to be of service, and what is my service? What is my being of service to the world? And then opening into service then actually opens a bigger question of, so how do I receive my support in this material, physical world here on earth? Abundance, give us this day our daily bread. And each of these then opens up the next question of forgiveness. So that's what we're going to be exploring today. Forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. Let's just say that again. Forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. Forgive us. These are such actually powerful words, and something I love about this stanza of the Lord's Prayer is that it's both asking us to forgive us of our debts, but also to forgive those who have debted against us, our debtors. There's something very, it's a both and in the request, right? So let's explore that. So debts are where people have something against us or have taken something from us, or perhaps who have harmed us. And we can also turn that around and say, where have we hurt ourselves, harmed ourselves, done something against ourselves? Where we have judged ourselves, been judged. Where we have harmed ourselves and been harmed by others. Perhaps all forgiveness actually starts with forgiving ourselves, of honoring who we are and not judging ourselves for not being enough, not doing enough, for all the little and big things that we judge ourselves for on I was going to say a daily basis, but I actually think it's more frequently than that. I think sometimes we don't even recognize when we're judging ourselves, as it's so habitual. So what if here we're asking for help, for assistance in stopping this judgment of ourselves? And then those who have debted against us. That's how I was raised, saying the Lord's Prayer and Here it was, and also forgiving those who have debted, not even against us, but those are debtors. So those who we have determined have caused us harm in some way, where we're holding a grudge, we're holding judgment, we're demanding an accountability and justice for this person or this act against us, right? I've been really fortunate to come across a teaching called the Formula of Compassion. And in this multi-dimensional, profound offering of a way to experience compassion, it's where we can take a bird's eye or higher view of that which has happened to us, but something we determine egregious, right? And we can expand out and above, and we can look at it from a much larger perspective. And here's a proposition, if you will. What if on a soul level that you have sat up there in the interlife and you are like, I want to learn forgiveness or compassion in my next life. And the soul that loves you the most is sitting there right beside you. It's like, I'll help you learn that. And it's like, you do that for me? And that soul who loves you with all their being says, yeah, I'll do that. There's a great scene from a movie with Morgan Freeman where he says, so if you think that you ask for something that God is just going to give you that thing, or is he actually going to give you the opportunity to practice compassion, to be compassion, to choose forgiveness? It's not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. Rather, it's going to be, you're going to receive an opportunity to choose it. That's what this formula of compassion, this opportunity to forgive, is that you get to choose forgiveness. I didn't quite complete my thought on this formula of compassion, and that what this offers us is a chance to look at something from a soul perspective, and that perhaps the beings who cause you consternation and heartache and challenge and harm are actually giving you these opportunities to choose compassion, to choose love, to choose honor, to choose compassion and forgiveness. That there's nothing to forgive if nothing has been done, and again we're given the opportunities to choose that, to be that. So here we are in the center, at the center of the labyrinth, choosing forgiveness. Forgive us our debts as we have forgiven those who have debted against us, or calculated towards us. Going back to my own old words, but I guess are programmed into these. Forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. It's a beautiful tree. So, who or what in your life have you refused to forgive, to let go of? Where are you holding a grudge or something that still got you? I know with a lot of people in my life recently, we've been talking about clearing out our stuff, all that extraneous material stuff we have in our lives, and just clearing our spaces. And what if one of the ways we can actually clear space in our lives is to forgive, is to have compassion for someone, and to honor that they, along with ourselves, are doing the best we can in any given circumstance. And perhaps we've decided it's not good enough, but what if it's actually the best that person can do? And in forgiving them, letting go, releasing them from judgment, you actually support them to open up a space for them in their lives, to take more responsibility, to come to terms with what they've done, to be more responsible in their own lives. Rather than fighting or resisting against your judgment, your releasing them creates the space for them to actually take more responsibility for themselves. In turn, this also allows you to take more responsibility for yourself, the choices you've made, the harms you've done, and the places where you have judged and harmed yourself. That forgiveness actually opens up such a beautiful space, and as we're walking back into the labyrinth, what we're doing is we're taking that forgiveness from the center and we're expanding it back out. We're bringing into the space from the center forgiveness, clean palette, if you will, from which magic and miracles can happen, from which connection can occur. Forgiving doesn't mean you have to have that person back in your life. There may be very much a necessity for that person not being near you in any way, but at the same time, you can clear your space and no longer do they get to take up any room in your being. That's really what forgiveness provides. It's for you. And the choices, the freedom and the spacious and expansiveness for you to live your life and to make choices based on love and what's true for you, rather than on trying to avoid, prove, or whatever we do when we're holding on to some kind of judgment against you. Right now I'm walking around the outer circuit of this labyrinth, and it just feels really appropriate as we complete this journey into forgiveness, that this space is being held from this place, from knowing that when we can release and let go, that we move more fully into love and into self-acceptance, into self-harmony, into a deeper relationship actually with ourselves. And this frees us up actually to be the source of miracles, to align with and connect root into something that is bigger and truer. Not so much truer, but we anchor into a source of love, and as Kathleen calls it, the source of miracles in our life. Kathleen McGowan says at the end of the chapter on this fifth petal that forgiveness is the great equalizer. It costs you nothing to give, but it buys or gives you everything. So where could you forgive yourself or another or others that could give you everything, and perhaps even give you your life back to yourself?